All right, we're going to call the meeting of the Board of Public Works to order. I guess it's Ms. Edwards is going to call the roll. I don't know who's going to call the roll, but go ahead.
Commissioner Shea?
Present.
Commissioner Lemon?
Present.
Commissioner Gregg?
Present.
Commissioner Spedia?
Here.
Mayor Dodges?
Here. All right. Is there, the item 2 is the agenda, Commissioner Shea?
I move to approve the agenda as submitted.
All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next, we have the minutes from our last meeting in April. Commissioner Lemon.
I motion to approve the minutes of the Board of Public Works meeting of April 29th, 2024.
All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. There is now public comment. Is there any member of the public who would like to address the Board of Public Works? Apparently not. We now have the Board of Aldermen referrals. Item A, Commissioner Gregg.
I motion to authorize a second amendment to the site lease agreement with New Singular Wireless PCS LLC, in parentheses, successor by merger to AT&T Wireless PCS LLC, regarding the communications tower located at 67 Amherst Street.
Is there anyone here on, you want to just,
Yeah, Bill Mansfield could not be.
yeah, he was going to
with
come
us.
or whatever.
Yeah, so there are some revisions from the previous lease that you saw. So they have agreed to increase the monthly fee retroactive to October 1st, 2023 to $3,932.36 per month. And then effective October 1st, 2024, the annual increase will be 3% going forward.
Now, this is basically the going rate for these things.
Yes, it is, and I believe Mr. Mansfield had a conversation with Commissioner Shea as well. So,
All right.
you want to
Any-
add anything, Commissioner?
No, I just say I really appreciate that fellow commissioners were willing to take the time to send this back for review. It means that we are looking at somewhere in the ballpark of $4,000 a year in additional revenue and 16 over the next 4. So that's great, and it's going to support the things that this fund supports. So thank you for taking a pause, and appreciate Mr. Mansfield taking the time and reaching out and kind of elucidating this a little further.
Commissioner Gregg.
Do we have any other situations in the city like this, or is this the only one?
There are others.
Cell
There are others?
towers?
Cell towers, right?
We have several, yes.
Okay,
There's Mine Falls Park
okay.
and others.
All of those are generating revenue for the city?
Yes.
Great, excellent.
We
Okay.
have one at here at the landfill. Mhm.
All right.
And they have a relative trust fund that supports the sites that they're located at, basically, right?
Yes.
So it's this one supports Holman, and Mine Falls similarly.
We
And
have one on Bridge
Good.
Street that supports the skate park.
Oh, cool.
Mhm.
All right, all those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. We have the wastewater department. Item A, Commissioner Spetia.
I move to approve the user warrants as presented.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Item B, Commissioner Shea.
I move to approve the fiscal year 25 purchase of the chemical sodium hypochlorite in the amount of $330,000 from Univar USA Incorporated of Morrisville, Pennsylvania. Funding will be through Department 169 wastewater, fund wastewater, account classification 61, supplies and materials.
Mr. Boucher.
Dave Boucher, wastewater superintendent. So this is the annual purchase of sodium hypochlorite. It's a disinfection we use at the wastewater plant and at our screening and disinfection facility. Annually, we participate in the Northeast Merrimack Chemical Consortium to obtain the lowest bid prices. And this year, Univar was the low bidder. We'd like to use them. You can answer any questions.
Anyone? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item C, Commissioner Lemon.
I move to approve the FY25 purchase of the chemical sodium bisulfite in the amount of $92,000 from JCI Jones Chemical of Sarasota, Florida. Funding will be through Department 169 Wastewater Fund, Wastewater Account Classification 61, Supplies and Materials.
Dave Boucher, wastewater superintendent. Sodium bisulfite is a chemical we use at the wastewater plant and screening and disinfection facility. It's used to remove residual chlorine before the treated processed water enters the river. Again, this one we also participated in the Northeast Merrimack Valley Chemical Consortium to get the lowest bid price. I can answer any questions.
All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Item D, Commissioner Gregg.
I motion to approve the fiscal year 25 purchase of polymer from Polydyne of Riceboro, Georgia, in the amount of $730,000. Funding will be through Department 169 Wastewater Fund, Wastewater Account Classification 61, Supplies and Materials.
Dave Boucher, wastewater superintendent. Polymer is a chemical we use to help assist in dewatering our sludge at the wastewater plant. We use it on 2 different processes. This isn't through a chemical consortium. Polymers are different with every company. So we have people come in, do bench tests with our sludge to see which one works best. Historically, Polydyne's worked the best for us, and the cost didn't increase this year from last year, or next year from this year. We'd like to continue to use them.
All right, anyone? Commissioner Gregg.
Just noting that in fiscal year 21, that a 5,000-gallon load was at $1.12 a pound. Is that right versus the 176? You're saying that it didn't increase this past year, but we did see an increase.
Fiscal year 21?
Yeah, in fiscal year 21. So 4 years ago, it looked like there was a massive increase, at least between those 4 years. And that we're not.
Yeah, there may have been. I'm just comparing this year with last year.
Okay. And the only reason I bring that up is because I think that the annual cost for the 2 polymers being $730,000, it was only 4 years ago that we were paying $412,000. So I don't know, and maybe just the idea that we had this last year and there wasn't an increase means that those previous 3 years must have been kind of brutal.
And it goes off usage also.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's the cost per pound that we buy. So it depends on the quality of the sludge. We may have to use more polymer
Sure.
1 year than the previous year.
Yeah, and it looks, even with that, though, I think $1.76 minus $1.12 a pound,
Right.
we're looking at a 64-cent increase. So that seems, I don't know what the market is for trying to bring in an RFP for this kind of process, but maybe if it's possible, it might be something that we can look at in the future if we see more increases.
Right.
But if they're flat, I understand that it probably wasn't necessary this year.
All right. Anyone else? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
We're now going to the engineering department. Item A, Commissioner Spitia.
I move to approve the sewer service permits and fees as submitted.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Item B, Commissioner Shea.
I move to approve poll license petitions as listed in the staff report.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Item C, Commissioner Lemon.
I move to approve a drain layers license for BMP Consultants LLC of Chester, New Hampshire, in accordance with Nashua City Code 255-19, issuance of drain layers license, and authorize the Division of Public Works to temporarily suspend the license if work is found to be unsatisfactory during an initial 6-month probationary period.
All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Motion passes. Item D, Commissioner Gregg.
I motion to approve the award of the construction contract for the 2024 pavement preservation program to Seal Coating Incorporated DBA Indus of Braintree, Mass.
Thank you. I'm going to drown again.
$474. Funding through Department 160 Admin Engineering Fund, bond activity paid.
Mr. Hudson?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good afternoon. Dan Hudson, City Engineer. So after we pave roads, we like to help keep them in good shape. We find if we crack seal them within, 2 to 3 years after paving, then that keeps the water out of the roads and provides for a longer life for the roads. So we bid this crack sealing work out, and Indus, doing business as Seal Coating Inc., was low bidder. They've been awarded this contract previously through a low bid process as well. So we're happy to engage with them again. Attached to the memo is the list of streets and a map of where they are that we intend to seal coat, crack seal. So I'd be happy to address any questions.
Questions, comments? Anyone? All right, all those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Next, item E, Commissioner, speak to you.
I move to approve the engineering services contract with Hayner Swanson Incorporated of Nashua, New Hampshire in the amount of $265,525 for professional services for the sewer rehabilitation program, funding through Department 169 Wastewater Fund Bond Activity Sewer Rehab.
The engineering department helps manage the city sewer and drain collection system rehabilitation work, including CCTV, pipelining, pipe and structure replacement, planning, design, bidding, construction, administration, field inspection during construction. All that effort is significant. So we have, in past years, contracted with an engineering support, outside engineering support. The bulk of that support, cost-wise anyway, tends to be the actual in-the-field time while overseeing the construction, which is very important. We just don't have sufficient staff to provide that level of support. So we're seeking to engage a contract this year with Hayner Swanson. Hayner Swanson also assists us with a paving program, so it works well coordination-wise between the two programs. Be happy to address any questions.
All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next is item F, Commissioner Shea.
I move to approve an amendment to the engineering services contract for the Walnut Street Oval intersection project with Hoyle Tanner and Associates Incorporated of Manchester, New Hampshire, in the amount of $39,534.29. Funding will be through Department 160 Admin Engineering, Fund Bond and Grant Activity, Walnut Street Oval intersection.
So we're proceeding through design on the Walnut Oval project. We're still in the preliminary stages, I'd say. We had our first public meeting, and now we're in the process of developing alternatives. Working with Hoyle Tanner and city staff. As part of developing those alternatives, we need to analyze them, see how they're going to handle traffic flows. Some of the pattern changes will involve rerouting of traffic. VHB did a whole downtown circulation study, I should say, back in 2015, recently amended it. In discussions, we've decided it makes sense to bring them on board as a sub-consultant to Hoyle Tanner to be able to provide some of that traffic data and redistribution of volumes as we consider and analyze how these alternatives work. With this amendment, and as we proceed through, we should be able to come fairly soon to a second public meeting, which will be the preferred alternative meeting where we'll actually present those alternatives and, of course, bring them to the board for consideration as well. Be happy to address any questions.
Anybody? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item G, Commissioner Lemon.
I move to approve the purchase of rectangular rapid flashing beacon assemblies and radar speed feedback sign assemblies from Traffic and Parking Control Company Incorporated of Brown Deer, Wisconsin, in an amount not to exceed $220,000. Funding will be through Department 161 Streets, Fund General, Account Category 61, Supplies and Materials.
So we're really excited about this item. This will allow us to purchase approximately 10-plus sets of rectangular rapid flashing beacon assemblies and distribute those at critical locations throughout the city, as well as some radar speed feedback signs in school zones. Some of our newer installations have that feature. We find that's helpful to improving safety through driver recognition of their speed relative to the school zone speed. Locations are noted for their RFPs. We're looking at Ledge Street, South Main Street, East Dunstable Road, Manchester Street. And then for the speed feedback assemblies, we're looking at Ledge Street, up with the schools in the Ledge Street area, Sunset Heights, Dr. Chris, Micro Society Academy Charter School out here in West Hollis. So that work is planned for this summer. We would purchase equipment and we would install it with city forces, which we've done successfully in the past. I would note that after we put this proposal together, we secured quotes, we got some volume pricing, so to speak, and prices came in quite a bit under what we had anticipated. So we did, under suspension today here, brought the next item on your agenda, which is some purchase of Grid Smart cameras. So our intention is to not overspend this $220,000 number between this item and the next item. I just wanted to bring that to your attention.
All right.
To address any questions.
Any questions, comments? Commissioner Gregg.
Is the traffic, when you said smart, I thought you said smart camera system, was that right?
The next item is Grid Smart camera systems.
Right, and I know we'll talk about that in a second.
Yep.
So the purpose of this particular purchase is just to give feedback to the driver to say you're going X amount of mileage and...
Yep, we're doing that in the school zones, and then at the others, it's the rectangular rapid flashing beacons. You go up to the crosswalk, press a button, lights flash, like we have it on a main street.
Right.
That's been shown to improve driver yields to pedestrians by up to 80%. So both these enhance safety, pedestrian safety, one by lowering speeds, the other by driver yield to people crossing streets. But the equipment we're buying is all from the same company, and that's why those two types of things are bundled in the same request.
Right, okay, thank you.
Anyone else? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Item H, Commissioner Gregg.
I move to approve the sole source purchase and installation support of 3 Grid Smart traffic camera systems from New England Traffic Solutions of Glastonbury, Connecticut, in the amount of $58,859.15. Funding will be through 161 Streets Fund General Account Category 61 Supplies and Materials.
So this item, as I described, is purchasing Grid Smart camera systems. They're overhead cameras. They see 360 degrees, and they help detect cars, which is a newer technology versus the loops in the ground, which are subject to damage during utility construction, that sort of thing. We have well over 30 of these within the city now, and they've worked well. We're seeking to purchase three camera systems. 2 of them will actually install. Our intention is to install one of them at West Hollis at Riverside Street. We've had some detection issues there and resulted in some long queues because that's a busy intersection. Excuse me. And the other location is at Bridge Street at East Hall Street, that X intersection next to the bridges. I need some water, sorry. Sorry about that. The Bridge Street East Hollis intersection is a busy intersection. We're getting ready to start the bridge rehab project out there. So in addition to providing the upgrade detection, this will allow us to remotely see what's going on with that project and also and the traffic impacts of it and be able to make adjustments. So the timing seemed right for installing a camera there. The third camera set we're going to put into reserve, so to speak, because we have so many of these camera systems out there. Every system is susceptible to some failure. So really, it's time to have a spare on the shelf that we can use to help troubleshoot and also replace systems if any are damaged, or, until such time as those can be repaired and returned. So That's the motion. Be happy to address any questions.
All those in favor of the motion say aye. Oops, Commissioner Shea.
You know my question. And these are the same camera systems that we have, and they do not collect personally identifiable information, and it's a CCTV system that is not monitorable otherwise and is simply useful for traffic data and activating the lanes.
That's correct. I appreciate that. Yes, I can see cars and people moving, but it's not to the resolution you can, see faces or see license plates or anything like that. It's simply to detect them so that the proper call can be put into the signal system.
Very good. Thank you.
All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Information I and J are informational items. Does anybody have any questions or thoughts?
Yeah, Mr.
Yes.
Mayor, I do have a brief presentation if my voice holds out.
Do you want to take a break for a moment, or?
No, I think I'm okay.
Okay.
I'll just, maybe if I try
So
to talk slower.
you're presenting on item I,
It's
right?
only a 2-slide presentation. so
Okay,
hopefully
go
I'll get
ahead.
through this, but, so this came up, we repaved Main Street, and then we restriped Main Street, and I think that was all very successful. One of the things we did on Main Street is we reduced the lane widths to 10 feet to try to provide a little additional extra space on the side. It was about a 3-foot at the narrowest point buffer between parked cars and the lane line. By narrowing the lanes, we were able to, increase that to 4 to 5 feet. And we did that in an effort to try to better accommodate bicycles. We had a gentleman, Jonathan Vale, who helped create the Strong Towns Nashua. He came to a meeting, I don't know, a number of months ago, and brought up a concern that that wasn't perhaps his desired treatment. He would have rather not seen that edge line and instead had sharrows in the road. And I know Commissioner Shea has spoke to the same sort of question or concern. So we've did a little research here, reviewing the Urban Bikeway Design Guide on what the good guidance is for implementation of sharrows. And there's a couple of key things. They're not recommended on streets that are posted 35 miles an hour or higher. That's not the case on Main Street, but speeds at times probably are faster than that. But they're also not recommended for roads where volumes are higher than 3,000 vehicles a day. And Main Street is, far exceeds that. We're about 19,000 vehicles a day. The preference at least in the guidance document really is for bike lanes. I mean, the most desirable thing was a completely separated feature. But that's, oftentimes that's not feasible, at least not without a full reconstruction of a roadway to include those features. So in reviewing all this information, I know that's a lot on the slide. I kind of paraphrased it, but our recommendation after review of the input and the guidance is to continue to monitor conditions. Right now we have the extend outdoor dining barriers out there. We placed those to be 5 feet off the lane that remains. So currently there is a 5-foot bike lane area, so to speak, or shoulder where those barriers are. To track the future outdoor dining, this is the last year of outdoor dining as it's been approved to date. That perhaps that'll be extended. We don't know. But when while the barriers are there, they would be over that sharrow that would be installed anyway currently. So we would like to solicit additional input from the biking community. Mr. Vale, when he came and spoke, I did follow up with him after that meeting, and he made a point to say that, well, he wasn't speaking for the group that he is involved in. He was speaking as an individual. So I don't want to overreact to one individual's input. We've had, somebody might want a lane, some might want a sharrow. So I think we need some more comprehensive input from the biking community so we can come to a consensus on really what's desired out there. And then depending on what we get, what occurs, we would either do nothing, like basically leave the stripes as we have them, providing as much shoulder width as we can, or we would obliterate that outside shoulder line and paint the sharrows. And then clearly, any future modification or redevelopment of Main Street, better bike accommodation is going to be a point of focus, not only Main Street, but other streets as well. At that time, certainly we'd be looking at measures to better accommodate bikes in a facility that, meets the guidance and the desire of the community. So that's what I had to offer on this. I'd be happy to address any questions if I can. Again, I don't know that there's immediate action item until the barriers are gone, but I welcome additional input from you folks and/or the biking community. I hope they do reach out to us. We can try to reach out to them and try to get a better understanding of what works for them or what they'd like to see.
Also, I just would like to add that the redevelopment of Main Street, if we, as we're looking at right now, Mayor, that could also provide some opportunity to do something different.
Yes.
Any comments, questions on this? Commissioner Shea.
I really appreciate the attention to this, and I think that this is a great path forward. It's meaningful stuff for us to be able to be this responsive to constituents, and I think it's excellent. So thank you for taking the time. And I have a question about, I'm pretty sure I know the answer, but the road between exit 4 and Main Street just got repaved.
Mm-hmm.
Is that going to have bike lanes on it when the stripes go back down?
East Dunstable Road.
I think, yeah, that sounds, yep.
I don't know offhand. I mean, we have it, every road we pave, we do look to see, we've pretty routinely been striping 10-foot lanes, so where wider lanes exist, we've been narrowing those. There is a lot of signage out there speaking to, the signage is a little confusing, frankly.
Yes.
Speaking to the bikes, and I think we could improve the signage. So, I mean, that may be a street where a Sharrow might be appropriate, I don't know.
My view is that if that road can accommodate bike lanes and the existing signage is suggestive of using a bike lane, I just want to make sure that when the stripes go back down, we're mindful of that, because I believe there was one there before. I didn't make a mental note of it, but, and just another comment, in terms of the striping on Main Street, one of our constituents he's involved with the Strong Towns group and is also very enthusiastic on this topic. He made note of how he could feel the difference in the space between the left lane and the barriers this year, and how much he appreciated that. So it's great that we were attentive to that detail. So thank you for that also.
All right. We now have item J, which is an informational item only. If no one has any questions there, we will go on to administration. And under administration, we have item A. Commissioner Spetia.
Move to approve a 3-year software maintenance agreement with OpenGov Incorporated of San Jose, California for the total amount of $348,084.47. Funding will be through Departments 160 Admin / E&G, 168 Solid Waste, 169 Wastewater Funds, General Solid Waste Wastewater, Account Classification 71, Equipment.
Can you speak to that, Mayor?
Yeah.
So this is our cartograph software that we use for our work orders and asset management. And the reason that you're seeing this for the first time is because it was housed in our IT budget, and it was decided that any division who exclusively uses the software will be moved into their budget. So that's why it was moved into our budget, and that's why we're seeking approval tonight. And that, I do want to note that is, the $348,000 is for 3 years, not just for 1 year. So. And this has proven to be very valuable software. We're using it a lot division-wide.
Commissioner Gregg.
Is it per seat, per user? no, it's 100 users. Is that right? It's 100 users?
I'm not sure. I know that I don't believe that there's a limit on, everybody that needs to use it is able to, so,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, we won't exceed that.
Yeah.
All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Now we have the director's report.
On May 5th, the DPW pension celebrated its 77th year. We had a pretty good turnout. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to attend. My daughter graduated from college. But it was very well received, and special thanks to Commissioner Shea and Greg for helping to welcome guests. I want to congratulate Dan Hudson. Yesterday, we had a very nice event at Granite Links in Quincy, which is a beautiful facility, and he was awarded the Professional Manager of the Year for Engineering and Technology. So,
Congratulations.
and that's countrywide. He'll also be presented the award at our national meeting in Atlanta in the end of September. So looking forward to see him
That's great.
walk across the stage then as well. So it was a very nice event. Engineering is using some new vehicle-mounted 360-degree cameras that enables collecting and uploading imagery to Google Street View. The photo on the left shows Sport Terrace at Berkeley Street, and that was collected on May 10th. So more to come. That we're testing this now to see if it's something that we want to utilize more widespread throughout the city. So probably more to come. Just wanted to let you know that we're testing this. Moran's Landscaping is shown working on the Riverfront Parks project on May 3rd. That is something that Economic Development has been working on, designing, and Public Works will be taking over now that we're in construction. So we're just starting. In fact, we had our first, I think, meeting today with Public Works in charge. This is RWC Enterprise is shown installing drainage on Bryant Road on May 6th. Continental Paving, final paving East Dunstable Road on April 19th. We're also, another thing we should mention about East Dunstable Road is that we are putting rapid flashing beacons at the mid-block crosswalks, which will make them far safer. So we kick off Summer Fun on Saturday, June 1st, with our DPW Day and Opening Day celebration. This is a great event. All the departments are represented from Public Works, and we have all sorts of informational stuff and programs for the kids. So we hope that we usually have a good turnout. We hope we will. We have Judy Pancoast and magician B.J. Hickman for entertainment. So should be hopefully we're going to be hoping for great weather, but this is usually a really fun day.
What's DPW Touch a Truck?
DPW, wheels.
Bust out the truck.
We have vehicles there. Oh, you're seeing it there.
Okay,
I
no,
wasn't
I'm
sure
sorry,
if
it was
you're
just,
confusing
some of the,
Yeah, so we'll have several pieces of equipment that kids can climb in and
oh,
touch
they must have
and
fun.
see.
That must be really
Yes.
fun.
We
Okay.
also even have a plow, and the kids can put their handprints on the plow.
Oh, nice.
That's always a big hit too. So we have lots of activities. Sand pile with all kinds of things. It's fun.
That's great.
A lot of interactive stuff. Wastewater has a toilet that the kids can flush, and it looks like the fish are flushing down the toilet. It's always a big hit. This past Monday, we onboarded our new lifeguards for this year. We were really fortunate to have an increase in applicants this year. We had far more than we needed, which never happens. We're usually scraping the barrel, so we're really excited about that. Our soft opening for the pools is Sunday, June 16th from 1 to 5, and our normal schedule will start Monday, June 17th, 1 to 5, and then 6 to 8 in the evening. So everybody's excited about that. New sheds are made by the Parks and Rec Department, Parks Department, I should say, during the winter. This shed replaced the shed at Levine softball field, which, as you can see on the right, had been tagged numerous times. May is a really busy month for the park department. You can see here that some of our staff are planting all our annual flowers. You've probably seen them. The city's looking really nice. We redesigned the landscape bed on Church Street. If you're familiar with this, it was really a big mess. So this is a huge improvement. This is just a picture of some spring cleanup at Park Social. The concrete decking around Rotary Pool was raised using poly-level. This corrected some low-lying areas that were collecting water and had become a health issue. The health department was concerned about, so we were able to correct that. A new pump was installed at Centennial Pool. This work was a joint effort between wastewater, streets, and parks. That work was completed on May 20th. This is a soccer field, Upper Shady, and was mowed and the soccer field lined. You can see Parks has been very busy. This is Spritbrook Road. The street crews were cleaning the islands there. We tore, I don't know if you've been to over here to the landfill, the recycling center, but we've torn down the building and we're replacing it. It was badly in need. And our street crews actually are rebuilding the building, so we're doing that internally and saving taxpayers a lot of money. And you can just see the construction here that's going on. This year, this is something that HR did, but wanted to just highlight it because it was a big deal to our staff. They celebrated public service employees by sending an ice cream truck around to each department, and it might not seem like a big deal, but it was really well received. So thank you to HR for that. Our third household hazardous waste collection will be held in Nashua on Thursday, June 6th. The Four Hills Landfill and Nashua Recycling Center will be closed on Monday, May 27th, in observance of Memorial Day, so all collections will be delayed by one day that week. And we also wanted to note that on Juneteenth, we will be open and trash collection will be on schedule. So no delays the week of Juneteenth. Any questions?
Any questions or comments regarding the director's report? All right, well, any commissioners' comments? That's our next item.
I actually have one question, I'm sorry. I lost
Commissioner
it.
Shea.
Thank you. So my question is, the Spitbrook Road Islands, is that New Hampshire DOT, or do we own that?
We maintain them.
We maintain them?
Yes.
Okay. So we're maybe doing the state a favor a little bit in terms of adequately maintaining the space that they're responsible for?
I think that's our responsibility.
Is it?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
so, yes.
Yeah.
But I could double check that for you.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if
That's
they
my
want
understanding.
to send people down to clean it and not take it out of our budget, that might be nice. If it's theirs, but if not,
I'll double
You'd be waiting a long time for
yeah.
that.
But if not, everybody's doing a great job and it's appreciated.
Anyone else? Commissioners' comments? Commissioner Lemon?
I've had a couple of constituents reach out to me with questions about, they're afraid of PFOAs getting into the Nashua water system, and they just wanted to know what exactly we were doing. I said I knew we were monitoring, but I don't know if there's a plan. I mean, groundwater just moves, right? Can't stop it. So is there a way to filter them out of the public water supply? Is there not?
That would be probably a question for Penachuk.
Okay.
I know that they do test for that, and they are watching. I'm just not sure what exactly.
There are maximum, there are regulations that set maximum limits, which Penachuk tells me they comply with, and I think those limits are actually coming down, and so they are, continuing to improve treatment capabilities. But to get the details, you need to talk to them.
I just to piggyback on that, one thing that we are doing is we are going to be testing some new technology to try to remove PFAS from our leachate. right now our leachate goes to the wastewater treatment plant, and it's becoming an issue, will become an issue there, so we will be, and more to come on that, but we haven't even chosen technology yet, but I think we know it's a foam process, but the DES has some funding for that, and so we certainly want to take it, they're encouraging us, and we want to take advantage of that, so we'll be testing something for that, so that is the biggest supplier, landfill is the biggest supplier of PFAS to the wastewater treatment plant, so.
And if I could just
Yes,
piggyback.
Commissioner Shea.
So in our wastewater, do we analyze for PFOA in what we get from residential? And I don't know to what extent that would even be possible in terms of like sewer and like rain runoff. Just in terms, so it's like a forever chemical. And the nature of my question is that if we have things coming out of household products that are going down the drain, would it be possible or worth investigating, or are we already doing something to capture it at that phase of kind of the water cycle? Because we want to stop it from coming in through the drinking water, but we also want to stop it from going out into the Merrimack.
Correct.
And so I'm just wondering to what extent, if anything is possible, or if we could look further into that as being just one more step in the chain to capture it.
So I'll let the superintendent correct me if I'm wrong, but we have tested, but we are not testing on a regular basis at this time, correct? Or are we?
Well, we test certain locations, so we'll test the head end of the wastewater, what's coming into the facility, and we test what's going out. We also test it in our sludge.
Yeah.
So we can kind of gauge where it's at. As far as out in the system, residents, we don't test residents in that. We had some volunteer testings at different industries, but those results have shown next to nothing. And then the leachate we're looking at too, because it tends to be in a lot of products, and that's where all the products accumulate, so.
So we're testing what's coming in and what's going out for processed wastewater on, is there an interval, or is it?
We test annually for in and out, but the sludge is more often. And some of it's funded by the state, some of that sampling.
And you're also testing some industrial sites?
That's correct.
Potentially.
Great.
Good. Thank you for the
You're
insight.
welcome.
Any other commissioners' comments? Commissioner Espetia.
I've noticed the riverfront project, the construction and the fencing. I'm very excited about that, and I want to say thank you for giving us a presentation a while ago, and it's great to see, well, the whole team doing it, but it's great to see the construction on it, and we're hoping we'll be running through spring of 2025, right?
I'm not sure. That sounds,
Longer?
it's going to be longer than that.
Okay.
That sounds aggressive.
No, great. And now also excited about the signs. I know I've seen some of them that have been, I think folks have run into them. Is there repairs that are going to be doing on some of the ones that are broken?
On the
On the
I'm sorry,
light
I'm
up
not-
pedestrian signs, the ones, because I know I've seen a couple of them that have not been repaired just yet, so.
do you
I'll
have
talk
an
to you
answer
guys.
to that?
Yeah, I don't know what specific area you're talking about, but I do know we recently had somebody on, I think it was Spitbrook Road, took out a whole bunch of
Okay.
stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know, it was a drunk driver or whatever, still waiting to get an accident report on that. But I do understand the street department recently replaced one that got knocked out over on Ledge Street, so I think that one's back up.
Great.
So we do repair them, but what we do try to do is work through risk to collect insurance
Great.
money, if we can, to help fund the replacement. And of course, there's lead time on things, takes a little while to get them replaced, but yeah.
No, I get it.
If any come to your attention, feel free to report those to us, and we can add them to the list.
I think they definitely help with pedestrian safety, so I really appreciate it, especially like around my neighborhood where we have West Hollis Street, Kinsley Street, and then also like even Spencer's Ledge Street, like cars fly, and especially at night, you hear car accidents, and so I appreciate making sure our pedestrians are safe out there.
Any other commissioners' comments? Commissioner Shea.
For the riverfront project, another question. I know that the kayak enthusiasts have had a lot of questions, and one of the thoughts that came to mind was it might not be a bad idea to consider either getting buoys or moving our buoys up past the work area where the barges and all that, just to avoid people having the impression that they will be like okay cruising around the barge. I just want to throw that out there.
Okay.
And then I noticed that in French Hill, it looks like they got tagged up pretty bad. A lot of the stop signs have like folk gang tag symbols on them. That's been a perpetual issue in the
Really
neighborhood.
is.
There's probably like 5 people that are not the best. Anyway, so that needs some attention.
Thank you.
And I want to say thank you for attending to the typo on the Fairmount street sign. I'm sure the residents that have that nagging feeling about it being misspelled when they drive by every day will appreciate it. And I want to apologize for my casual attire. I know nobody here cares, but I care. I had a last-minute appointment that became available for me and didn't have time to change. I don't like to come here in a T-shirt and gym shorts, so that's all.
I think the meeting should just be canceled right now.
Yeah. Let's go, we gotta go.
We don't have quorum because of
Yeah.
the tire.
No decorum, no quorum.
All right, anyone else? Commissioner Gregg.
Just one more point. I've heard a lot of rumblings that are related to what kind of plan is the city putting together for sidewalks. And I'm sure maybe the city's heard it as well. And I'm wondering, I know that typically the way that I've been dealing with those requests are, if I see something when I'm out and I see a repair that needs to be done to the sidewalk, I'll use See-Click Fix and I'll actually put something on there. And of course, I tell all of the constituents that want some repairs that are specific to a sidewalk to just go to that part, use See-Click Fix, and just tell the city what you need. But I'm hearing more and more that maybe some proactive plan of looking across the city and figuring out whether or not we can have a much larger plan, almost like we do with the paving plan. Maybe that's something that we can look into, or something that we already have in the works. I know that Alderman Tebow said that he would support something like that and wanted to put something like that together on his side as well.
It's just funding.
Yeah, I know.
We do have an inventory. We took an inventory of all our sidewalks, so we do. We have not fully completed, though, our plan, but we certainly could do that. But it's going to be very, very expensive to do that. And the problem is there are so many other priorities. But you're right, it is something that we need to look at and something that we need to address, even if we start small. So.
There's a higher priority than sidewalks?
And we do try. And we do try to do a number of sidewalks every year. We try to prioritize them through the street department, and so we're doing some ourselves, but we definitely should do more, yes.
Great.
I
Thank you.
completely agree.
Commissioner Lemon.
I just wanted to say thank you. I don't know if it was Public Works or the Sculptural Symposium or who did it, but one of my favorite Nashua sculptures is the one on Bridge Street. My daughter calls it the wishbone with the fish on top, and they moved it to the Pickering Building for the, and I assume was for the work on the park and to make sure that it didn't get hurt in any way. So I just want to say I thought, oh God, the sculpture has disappeared, and then I drove into work on the Parkway and got to see it safe and sound in front of the Pickering Building. So whoever did it, thank you.
I have one more thing, I'm sorry.
Yes, Commissioner Shea.
And then I'll stop myself. For the expanded outdoor dining layout plan, the barrier location at Mike's Italian has a merge sign up there. I want to say it should, like MUTCD would say that it should be like 75 feet or 125 feet or something like that before the actual merger happens. And I think it's on the map that way. So, and I could be wrong. And if it doesn't move, I'll be fine with it. But I think it can come back just to give people a little more of a heads up on that merger.
And it's where?
It's located in front of Mike's Italian and in front of
Okay.
Church of the Good Shepherd. Church of the Good Shepherd?
Okay.
Yes.
That's the first merger moving north, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So it, yeah, and it doesn't look that pretty there, but on a functional basis, I believe technically it should be more in advance of the merger itself.
We will look into that.
Appreciate
Thank you
it.
for bringing
Thank
that to our attention.
That's really it, I promise.
Any other commissioner comments? Next, we have personnel. Item A, Commissioner Shea.
I motion to approve and unseal the non-public minutes for personnel from the Board of Public Works meeting of April 29th, 2024.
All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes, and we do not have non-public, right? Okay.
We do not.
So the next item, it would be a motion to adjourn. Commissioner Lemon.
I motion to adjourn the Board of Public Works meeting.
All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes, and the meeting of the Board of Public Works is adjourned at 4:54 PM.